Hey everyone, welcome to this video. I am Chinmay Hegde and today we will be talking about investing. If you are a college student, this is a really interesting field you should learn a lot about, and you should start investing when you are 18, 19, like as soon as you can. That's what I have heard a lot of people say. Before we start this video, make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. Now that you have done that, let's get started. Okay, let's start with what is investing. Investing is how you allocate the existing assets and cash flow for the future desired benefit. Understanding this definition is important because it touches on how you should think about investing from the fundamental level. So first you have to take an inventory of your existing assets, mainly the cash you have the available to invest, and plus you should consider your current cash flow situation, which is the amount you are able to invest going forward based on existing income and your expenses. So second, you have to know why you are investing, and more specifically the goals you are trying to accomplish. Okay, now let's talk about the second part of this video, which is why should you invest. One of the most important financial decisions you will make, if not the most important, it's whether you allow the compound interest to work for you or against you. So having compound interest work for you over a lifetime is like swimming downstream. Better yet, the longer you swim, the easier and faster you are able to swim. Not taking the advantage of it is like swimming upstream. So the longer you swim upstream, the harder and faster the current works against you. So what investing does is it allows you to take the advantage of compound interest. Investing 500 rupees per month for 40 years, earning 7% a year, allows you to build a portfolio worth 13,20,562 rupees. On the other hand, what happens when you let compound interest work against you? So let's say you have 10,000 rupees on a credit card debt at 18.9% of interest rate. You are then only able to make a 4% monthly minimum payment on that debt. So in total, it will take you 13 years and 9 months to pay that off debt. So and it will cost you a total of 16,357 rupees. That's a huge lot amount. So focus on compounding, which will help you to increase your wealth soon as possible. Okay, let's start with the third question that you all have. So when is the right time to start investing? To retire, investing is how you allocate existing assets and cash flow of a future desired benefit. What successful investing looks like is producing the highest return possible for a given level of risk and achieve your goal. So when you look at investing through this point of view, everyone is an investor, even if they don't own a single share of stock, and we all consistently deciding what the highest and best use of our money is. So when it comes to investing money in stocks, the right time is when your investment will produce the highest return possible for a given level of risk and desired result. So to put that in easy words, so let's say your goal is to accumulate wealth and you are wondering whether you should pay off your debts or to invest. So historically, the stock market has returned about 7% a year after inflation. So if you have high interest rate debt at 18%, prioritizing paying that off over investing in the stock market allows you to accumulate wealth faster. So the investment to pay off that debt is risk-free, and looking at the numbers, it makes sense to start investing in the stock market once you have paid off all your debts with an interest rate greater than 7%. So according to me, choosing to pay off your debts is better than investing, because once you have already paid off your debts, there will be enough money for you to invest. So that's according to me, and that's the way I think. So the people can think in different ways, and everyone has their own opinion. So my opinion is that you should pay your debts off before you invest. Okay, the fourth part of this video is different types of investment. There are like infinite amount of possible investment, like paying off your debts or investment is also an investment, and so investing in your own education is an investment, and in each case you sacrificing money today for a future's benefit is also investment. So When it comes to specifically stock market investment on the and all, there are like 4 divisions. The first is stocks, and the second is bonds, and third is cash, and fourth one is alternatives. So, and there are also subdivisions in them. The subdivision one is going to be mutual funds, and second subdivision is exchange traded funds, and third subdivision is robo advisors. So if I go to explain all of this, it will become like a half an hour video. So let's skip this part. I will explain just what are stocks and mutual funds. So stocks are basically referred as equities. Stocks are legal claim of a part of the assets and earning of a corporation. Historically, stocks have the highest overall returns of any assets. So, but they come with the most risk. And when it comes to mutual funds are how you can invest in a pool of stocks and bonds without picking up each individual. Mutual funds offer investors easy access to managed investing. There are both passive and actively managed mutual funds. Passive funds aim at replicating the performance of an index, whereas active funds employ a fund manager to pick the investments in an attempt to outperform their benchmark. So these are the two which I personally invest. I invest in stocks and mutual funds, and the other I haven't tried it. So that's okay. These are the types of investments you can go. Okay, the fifth part of this video is going to be how to start investing in 4 steps. Successful investing requires 4 distinct steps to be followed. So the first step is going to be know your goals. So like without a clearly defined investment goal, it's impossible to have a proper investment strategy. So the most common investing goal is retirement among all of them, but there are also other goals worth considering. There are short-term goals which often considered as until 2 years. Examples include like saving for a car or a trip for a short period of time, and the medium-term goals like are from 2 to 7 years. Saving for a down payment of a house and education are medium-term goals, and when long-term is considered, it goes until 7 years and 7+ years. So retirement and general wealth accumulation, including building generational wealth, and that can be passed down to your kids and next generation. These are considered as long-term goals. It's helpful to know the time frame of your goal because it impacts on which assets you should invest. For example, you wouldn't want to heavily invest in stocks when your goal is just one year away, because stock prices fluctuate in short term. So on the other hand, you wouldn't want to hold a lot of cash if your goal is to save for retirement, which is 20+ years ahead. So because inflation decreases that cash value. It's helpful to know your time frame of a goal because it impacts which assets you should invest in. For example, you wouldn't want to heavily invest in stocks because you wouldn't want to heavily invest in stocks when your goal is 1 year away, because stock prices fluctuate in short period of time. On the other hand, you wouldn't want to hold a lot of cash if your goal is to save for retirement, because inflation decreases the cash's value and your retirement plan is 20 years ahead. So that's how the knowing your goals work. You should know your goal like for a short period of time or a medium period of time or a long period of time. So choosing your goals mainly, so having a clear vision of your goal increases your success towards investment. And step 2 is to decide how much to invest. With a specific investment goal in mind, your next step is going to determine how much money you can invest in stock market. When you have a long-term goal such as retirement, it's best to focus on your savings rather than saving a specific amount. And as a rule of thumb, you want to save at least 15% and ideally 20% of your gross annual income for your retirement. And you should always keep in mind that you don't have to hit that number in a month. The goal is to work towards saving 15% to 20% over a long period of time. And for a short and medium term goals, you want to give yourself more clarity on how much you actually need. For example, if your goal is to save 24,000 over the next 2 years for a down payment of a home, you need to invest 1,000 rupees a month. So the next is going to be the third step, which is decide what to invest in. So as I said before, there are different types of stocks to invest. Like there are cash, there are stocks, there are mutual funds, there are bonds. So you have to decide according to your point of view and your needs. So like what you invest depend mainly upon your goals and time horizon. So the further away if you are your so the more far is your goal, the more you can invest in stocks, because they have historically outperformed bonds, cash and real estate and all the types of things that are available to invest in stock market. Even though they are more volatile in short term, but they produce high amount of they give you high return on investment for your invested money. So according to me, investing in stocks are like a better opinion, and they're better ideology to be considered. So the next step or the last step to be considered is decide where to invest. So asset location is the decision of where to invest. Like options include like IRA brokerage account or a college saving account. Like there are many of them. So retirement accounts and IRA accounts offer tax benefits which can help you increase your returns over time. The downside of that is that order to take money, but the downside of that, in order to take money out of these accounts before retirement, there is an often some type of tax or the penalty that you have to pay. So this is the only downside which these retirement accounts have. If available, it's a smart decision to take to max out your employer match. This is a free money and really part of your compensation, and you will want to take a full advantage of it. So investing for short term and medium term goals should happen outside a retirement account, which is like a brokerage account. You can withdraw your money whenever you want, and by paying again only capital gains. So for retirement investing, my personal opinions are going to invest in employer match, or max out your IRA account, or invest in taxable account. So to me, this represents a good balance on taking advantage of tax benefits of retirement account and having the liquidity to taxable account if shorter terms needs arise. So the last part of this video is going to be final thoughts on how to get started investing. So according to me, successful investing is about discipline. So to the discipline to keep your expenses lower than your income, so you are able to invest month in and month out, and the discipline to stick with a strategy for a long term. And even though you may want to consistently tweak things, but the discipline to stick with a strategy through both good times and bad times. So if you follow these three things, you will see how easily it is to take your money grow, and doing so how compound interest can really work in your favor over time.